So now we're going to come back to answering the question that I asked at the beginning of the lecture, which is, what's a typical data analysis student like? And so I'm going to go through each of those three questions that we looked at before and their mode. Have you ever been in a physical fight? Based on this frequency distribution, we can see that the most common response to this question was yes, with 24 out of the 46 students who answered the question saying that they had been in a physical fight before. So based on this, we could say that a typical data analysis student has been in a physical fight, because the modal answer to this question, or the mode, is yes. I also asked you guys about how afraid you are of being victimized by a crime. And based on this frequency distribution, we can see that the most common or most frequent answer is neither afraid nor unafraid. So 16 people out of 46 answered the question this way, making this the most common response. In other words, a typical data analysis student is neither afraid nor unafraid of being victimized by a crime using the mode. Finally, I also asked you guys how many times you've been stopped by the police in the last 3 years. And looking at this frequency distribution, we can see that the most common or modal answer is 2 times. So 14 out of the 45 people who answered this question said that they had been stopped by the police about twice in the last 3 years. But as you can see, there is a spread around that. So as you can see here, the mode gives you some answer to the question, what's a typical student like, by telling you what the most common or most frequent responses are. So while the mode is useful in that it's sort of a quick and dirty way to find out what a typical case is, and it can be used for variables at any level of measurement, a disadvantage to the mode is that it just doesn't give you a whole lot of information. So it tells you what the most common answer is, but it doesn't tell you anything about the other responses in your data. And this can be a disadvantage if you're trying to understand what a typical case is, looking at more of the data that you have. So the other ways of finding a typical case, so the other measures of central tendency, are going to use more and more of the data that we have. So the median is going to tell us more than the mode does. And the median can be used for variables at 3 levels of measurement. So if you have ordinal data, interval data, or ratio data, you can find a median. And the definition for a median is that it's the middle point of a distribution of values. In other words, if you were to line up all of the values in your data, so in your sample or population, in order from least to most, the median would be the middle point in that list of values. So the reason that we can only find the median for ordinal, interval, and ratio level data is that you need to be able to order your values from least to most to begin with. If you have nominal level data and they can't be ordered, you can't find the median because there's no logical middle point. So how to find the median? One way, and the easiest way if you have a small number of observations, is to arrange the observations in order and then find the middle. Another way to do it is to use something called the median position formula. And for both of these, I'm going to show you examples in a moment. I'm also going to talk about finding the median for ordinal data because, as is meant to be demonstrated by that little asterisk on ordinal there, finding the median for ordinal data is more of a special case, and there can sometimes be complications. But before I get into that, I'm going to talk about how to find the median, both for a small sample and using the median position formula, which can be used for a sample of any size. So we're going to hop over to that document camera for this.